Silence your cell phone, Christina.
All right, guys.
So
Hello
people don't
and
call
good
you.
morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Nursing School Show. Christina was just silencing her cell phones. Seat in the upright position. Tray tables up. Everything good to go. All right.
Here we go. Do you remember those sounds from, flight pre-2020?
Yeah, we haven't gone anywhere. Happy Wednesday, everyone. It is Wednesday,
Good
right?
morning. Hi.
I think it still is Wednesday.
Rilda? Okay, sorry. I can't read it. There's like, when the L's and the I's are like together, it's hard to see from so far away.
Welcome, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Nursing School Show. Ask me anything. Ask us anything. Ask Christina anything.
Ask me anything.
And by anything, we mean nursing school related questions.
Or,
by me,
anything.
I mean Christina. So really, it's Ask Christina nursing school related questions is really what it is.
That's what the show should be called.
That's
too long.
It's just too long. It's just too long. So
it's too long.
We are here to answer nursing school questions, help you guys finish out 2020 with a bang.
Okay, I have something to talk about.
Oh, are we talking about things now?
I have things to say.
All right, we have things to say. And by we, I mean Christina.
Usual.
All right.
Here's kind of what happens during this time of year.
It's the most wonderful time of the...
So many of us are either going back to nursing school or just starting nursing school. Pair that with we just got through the holidays, and a lot of you, some of you, were talking with your family over the holidays. Maybe not in person, maybe online, but you were talking with your families. And here's what often comes up. When we do things in life, like go to nursing school, try something new, try to do something that grows us, people who you know might say, wait a minute, it might not work out for you. That might not work. Just know that it's going to be hard. Just know that it might not happen. Don't dream too big. Make sure your expectations are lowered. Don't get your hopes up. Have you heard all these things?
Yeah, go ahead and
people in your life?
Shoot us an emoji if you've heard this throughout the holiday seasons while talking to family, friends, what have you.
Yep.
About people that are helping by giving you advice about how not to try. Wait, that shouldn't be how not to try
things.
That's not in quotes. So, yes.
Don't get your hopes up. Don't dream too big. I know that you want to do that, but I want you to know that it might not work out. Have you heard these things from people? Right, you go to nursing school, you get accepted in nursing school. Oh, did you not hear that it's so hard and kind of the worst? You hear these things, right? Everyone all of a sudden wants to tell you about your life and the decisions that you're making for your life, right? So here's what I want to say to you, my friends. Anytime you decide to step out of your comfort zone, anytime you decide to try something new, anytime you decide to put yourself out there and grow yourself, people are going to come at you. They're going to respond to that. People are going to have opinions about your life and your decisions, and I don't want you to listen to them. I want you to respect them for being who they are and move on, but you cannot stop because of something someone tells you, right? Do not let someone else's opinion about you dictate your life and your decisions. If you want to go to nursing school and become the best nurse you can be, I want you to go to nursing school and become the best nurse you can be. The end, right? If you want to do whatever in life, I want you to do that thing. regardless of what anyone says. This is so important because it's so what's the word? It's so insidious, is that the right word? Like it seems so neutral and fine, and like, oh, they just have, they have the best, they want the best for me, they're just looking out for me, all these things. But if you start to listen to those people who have your best intentions in mind, who want the best for you, of course they want the best for you, right? This is your family and your friends. But if you start to listen and let that get in, and you start to think that way as well, then you will have doubt in your mind. And I do not want you to doubt yourself. It's so important that you go all in nursing school. It matters so much because it's possible for you to pass. It's possible for you to become the best nurse the world has ever seen. And I don't want you to listen to anyone that will tell you otherwise. It happens all the time. All the time. Do you have anything to add?
I'd say I think that this is something that everyone needs to hear, especially like you said, this time of year. There's been a lot more discussions around family members and others. Type down in comments if this sounds familiar to you about people that are trying to help. And I think that's something to notice is, yes, they are trying to help. So it's okay. Don't disrespect them. Don't act negatively to them or back to them. But notice that it is trying to help in their own way, but it's not necessarily helpful to you. So go ahead and shoot in the comments if that sounds familiar to you, that, oh, they don't want you to feel pain. They don't want you to feel stressed. They don't want you to have anxiety. Just take it easy. It's the break. Just relax, or you're trying too hard. Just lay off.
Slow
slow down.
Don't get your hopes up.
All of that is their way of trying to help you. So understand that for what that is, and also understand that it's coming from the best intention of their heart. But that doesn't mean that you need to take that to heart, to do what they say, or really acknowledge that that's the right decision for you. So that is something to really consider. And yeah, everything that you said does apply. Definitely, if you're prayed about it and it is in your heart to become a nurse, then get to it and really work hard at it. And just because it's difficult doesn't mean that you aren't meant to be a nurse. It doesn't mean that you should quit or take a break or stop.
Right.
Usually it's beyond that pain, beyond that anxiety, beyond that stress where growth occurs. So just remember that growth is there for a reason, and it's tough for a reason, so you can be the best nurse ever. Related to that, Cassie just wrote up, how do I survive? I'm a mom, farmer's wife, work full time, run 3 side businesses. I'm so nervous. I've been in nursing for 16 years.
Oh, wow, nice.
So you are a nurse? Is that, and then
you work full time as a nurse?
And you're just working and just all these things. So how do you survive? This is the prime thing Christina's talking about. Are people talking to you and say, you're doing too much. It's too much. Just take it easy. Again, coming from the best intention in their mind, definitely understand that, but also understand where you're coming from and whether God's called you to do all those things. Now, that does mean that you need to kind of take that into consideration and really pray about all these things and pray about where you are at and where you're supposed to be. So definitely consider that as well. Yeah. But if you're meant to do all those things, then do all those things. How do you survive? That is a lot. So we can talk about the more in depth on planning time and kind of seasons, what we've talked about, and just determining what is enough load for you. There's definitely all of that too. But at the end of the day, whatever decision you decide to go with, make it your decision, accept that decision, and realize that not everyone may be on board.
I've heard this from a few, people, what do I call them, influencers or people in the personal growth space. No one who has had the success that you want will tell you otherwise. They will not look down upon your dedication, your passion, your drive to do what you want to do. So it's very, very important that you choose your mentors and you choose wisely the people that you listen to, the counsel that you receive. Make sure that you are very wise in who you decide to let in and the advice that you take. Now, I'm not saying that you need to, if someone in your family or your friends group who you're close to is, if they're, telling you these things like, tamper your expectations, don't get your hopes up, those things. I'm not saying that you need to cut them out of your life. Absolutely not. I'm just saying that you need to be wise and aware of taking what they say on. Don't take it on. If they don't have the success that you want, don't take it on. Let's say, for example, you have a cousin who went to nursing school, got accepted into nursing school, started nursing school, and then dropped out. And now she's saying, oh man, it was just so hard. Like, I just want you to know how hard nursing school is. Well, she doesn't have the success that you want, right? She dropped out of nursing school and that was her choice. That's fine. But if she doesn't have the success that you want, why would you let her opinion dictate your life? Right? So if we are listening to the world out there, to people who are, they don't have the result that you want, they haven't, tried in their life what you're doing, right? Why would we listen to that? Why would we listen to that? Listen to the people who have what you want to have, right? And they can show you how to get there. So there you go. That's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm.
I am a nurse. There you go.
So Cassie,
there's your little motivation.
Not yet.
For
I'm getting my
Wednesday.
BSN right now, but started as a CNA. That's really great. Yeah. So definitely, it's
That
good.
was the same question from before, right?
Yeah. So there,
Okay.
It sounds like you have a lot
Mhm.
on your plate, and your question, how do I survive? Really?
Okay.
Yeah. What do you want to dive into that a little bit?
I do.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I want you to be very, very careful, Cassie. Very, very careful. I'm going to go back to your original question to make sure I get this right. How do I survive? I'm a mom, farmer's wife, woohoo, work full-time job. So I'm assuming CNA, right? I run 3 side businesses. I'm nervous because I've been in nursing for 16 years. Here's what I want to say. With anything in life, sometimes it's very, very easy to get caught up in doing so many things at once, and we do it out of scarcity. It sounds counterintuitive, but Cassie, you're saying that you're running 3 side businesses, you want to go to nursing school, you are working full time. I'm wondering if you're doing all of those things out of scarcity. You're worried that you're not going to be successful in one of those things, so you're doing all of the things. That is not the place to run your life from, my friend. If I was your life coach, I would tell you to pick one thing and go all in. Pick one thing and go all in on that. And I'm saying that from someone who has been there. I'm saying that from a place, I've been there, my friend. And now here we are. You've got to pick one thing and go all in. If you are going to nursing school, like we say all the time, my friends, all the time, I want you to make sure that you still have time for your family and your life. But in nursing school, it's a season. I want you to go all in. Go all in on nursing school. If you want to, start a business, Cassie, like you said, you have 3 side businesses. If maybe nursing school is not your thing, you want to do a business instead, go all in. Don't doubt yourself. Pick one and go all in. What do you think?
Just a follow-up. I actually work as a special education paraeducator. I live in a small town. Pandemic hit us hard.
Hey,
so
I love nursing school.
Yep.
Go all in on nursing school, my friend.
So
whatever you want to do.
I think this is the thing. We talk about seasons. We talk about balance, work-life balance. I put that in quotes because I don't really agree with the idea of work-life balance. You're a farmer's wife, so you know about seasons, all about seasons. So I think life works the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, what season of life are you in? And in that season, what are the things that you might need to scale back on in order to focus on one thing? Because, like it or not, we are not built to multitask, both micro and macro. Micro, we think that we can actually multitask, study, and do something else, or do multiple things at a time. That's micro. And macro, just getting all these things on our plates. But really, we are not meant to multitask. We are meant to more efficiently work by focusing on one thing at a time. So what Christina is saying is exactly right. Focus on that one thing that you need to accomplish. That is the season that you are in, and then work on that. And then I'm not saying that you need to quit everything else, but you need to scale back on other things and then catch up with them when the season comes around for them as well. So I think that is really, really important. So
everything is with seasons. Everything is with seasons. I love it.
All right. Did you? Hey, look, hearts.
Yeah, Brandy said she had to go. Bye, Brandy.
Oh, no,
We'll
Brandy.
answer your question about dose calc. I was just scrolling up to make sure that I didn't miss it.
Mm-hmm.
I do not remember, but does your dosage calculation cover drip rates? Infusion times, I'm assuming, and drops per minute equations. Okay, so Brandy, on YouTube. Okay, in the workbook inside the membership community, we have those. And then on YouTube, go to YouTube, type in dose calc nursing SOS. Like search nursing SOS dose calc. It'll pop up there. We have a whole video there on IV stuff for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Brandy, if you need any questions, submit a tutor form or inside the membership community, or just email us hello@nursingsos.com. And we will direct you to where you need to go.
And Brandy and everyone in the Nursing Us membership community.
Yep.
Things are coming down the pipe.
Oh, friends.
So,
friends.
With regards to dosage calc,
and
I'll leave it up to Christina on how much she wants to share. But to your specific question, things are coming down the pipe.
We got your back.
Within soon.
Yeah. If you're ever wondering why we closed the membership community, it's because we are constantly working behind the scenes on things, new things. Wink. I'm so bad at winking. Wink. It's not like a sexy wink. That's not. It's coming for you.
So there is that. So be on the lookout, Brandy, when you're replaying this. Be on the lookout for that.
Yep.
Someone from Instagram. It's tough with Instagram because it doesn't actually have their actual name. So
sorry.
Fear Perfection. Is there another group chat besides Facebook? Because I don't have one. I'm assuming you're a Nursing SOS membership.
Oh.
Member, whatever. Is there another group chat besides Facebook? Because I do not have one. Funny because we were just talking about that. Currently in the membership community, we do have a Facebook group. If you do not have Facebook, that is okay.
Yep.
All
the stuff is still on the site.
We do not have another group outside of that you can kind of hang out with. So
I do not have a WhatsApp number. Everyone asks me that all the time. I do not have a WhatsApp number. I don't have one.
All right. Let's see. Let us get to, there's been a bunch of questions coming through. So thank you, everyone. We will get to as many as we can. I'm just going through and seeing which ones we should hit right now.
Based on all of the hearts and comments we got from my little motivational pep talk from earlier on in this live.
Yes.
It would suggest that a lot of people are going through that. So if you need a little motivational kick and missed my motivational pep talk at the beginning of this live, definitely replay it.
Oh,
there you go.
Yes. And
hit replay.
If you want just upbeat motivational talks, be sure to join us on YouTube, hit subscribe and hit the bell, hit the things, hit all the things.
Hit the bell.
We usually do motivational things.
We do.
Is that motivational for you? All right. Blessings. How do you study for pharmacology? I'm taking it next semester and I'm so nervous. Nothing will stick. Please help. So let's just start with that guy.
Okay, the number one way to study for pharmacology is to get inside our Nursing SOS membership community because we have an entire pharmacology medication database for you to help you learn meds faster. That is the number one way. The number two way is to follow the steps that we teach for pharmacology, how to study pharmacology inside the nursing school study system. So let me just pull it up right here, shall we? So medications and studying pharm starts on page 22 of the nursing school study system. You can snag this at nursingschoolofsuccess.com/study system. It'll help you through nursing school. It's your step-by-step guide for how to study through nursing school. So basically, the biggest thing with pharm is that you really need to make sure that you are learning the mechanism of action of the medication. So the mechanism of action is how the medication acts in the body. What does it do in the body? And so that then will dictate a lot of the side effects, the nursing assessment, the nursing considerations, all of those things. So just learning the mechanism of action is really going to help you critically think through everything else you need to know for that medication. Super cool, right? So instead of memorizing a whole list of side effects, you just need to understand the mechanism of action and then apply that mechanism of action to the side effects, to the nursing assessment for the med, to the nursing considerations. It's a lot easier than just memorizing a whole list, right? You don't want to get to a nursing school exam and just have a list memorized because you're not going to be able to critically think through those questions on the exam, right? Nursing exams are all about critical thinking. So you have to make sure that you're doing that well. That's why we do it that way. Mechanism of action. Now, not only that, but the mechanism of action for the drug class, and particularly the pharmacologic class as much as possible. Now, the pharmacologic class of medications is called a pharmacologic medication class. All medications within a single pharmacologic class will have the same mechanism of action, meaning that they act similar in the body. And so when you learn the mechanism of action for one drug class, you then automatically know that mechanism of action for all the medications within that class. So you don't need to know the mechanism of action for each individual drug. You don't need to memorize that. All you need to know is the mechanism of action for the medication class, and then you will automatically know the mechanism of action for all the medications within that class. So cool. Can I get an amen? Seriously, friends, this is the best way to learn pharmacology. I walk you through the step-by-step process for how to study pharm, starting on page 22 of the nursing school study system. Check it out. It's going to save your life. nursingschoolofsuccess.com/study system.
Awesome. Don't
Yep.
put that away because we have another question that is
Don't put
answered
it
in
away.
there.
Okay.
A lot of things are answered in the
Pretty
study
much
system,
any
by the
question
way.
you have in nursing school is answered in the study system.
But I wanted
if
to
it's about
touch
studying.
on this because yes, the year is ending, and yes, January is starting up, and yes, people will be starting up soon. So
Yep.
a question that is asked frequently, how do I study 4 to 5 chapters within 1 week, especially for RN nursing? How do you have any recommendations?
Yes, you don't.
Yes. So, and then right here, so that was just today. And then
Mhm.
another question that we had the other on Monday, I believe, that we can kind of, it's the same question from someone else. Hello, guys. I have problems understanding what to read. I need help, please. I start nursing this January the 6th. So what to
Woo!
read? There's a lot to read. There's a lot of chapters. How can I do it all within a short
Mhm.
amount of time? What do I do?
How do you focus your study time and spend it efficiently and productively, right? That's really the question, is how can we study efficiently in nursing school and learn everything we need to learn without having to read every single thing in all the textbooks back there?
I like how we just have those books back there.
I love it too.
fun.
Like, they're just always around. How do we do it? So we do it in, really, there's one simple thing that I want you to know. So there's only 4 main categories that you need to focus on in nursing school: pathophysiology, signs and symptoms, nursing assessment, and nursing interventions. That's it. There's only 4. So you need to make sure that you are studying those 4 main categories for nursing school. Anything else in the textbook, I want you to get rid of it. Pathophysiology, signs and symptoms, nursing assessment, and nursing interventions. Now this goes for fundamentals, goes for med-surg, goes for critical care, pediatrics, OB, all the things. So when you're studying fluid and electrolytes, when you're studying intake and output and elimination and fundamentals, when you're studying the nursing assessment, when you're studying cardiac disorders and respiratory disorders and renal disorders, and when you're studying sepsis for critical care or intubation or, ventilators and chest tubes and all the things, I want you to focus on those 4 main categories: pathophysiology, signs and symptoms, nursing assessment, and nursing interventions. Now, here's the kicker. Pathophysiology is the most important thing for you to know. And here's why.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Put a pin in that.
Put a pin in that.
All right. Nicole, you're just asking, how can I possibly remember all the things to memorize for fluid and electrolytes, such as the signs and symptoms and nursing interventions for each hyper? This is for you too. This also applies for fluid and electrolytes. So back to our first part, pathophysiology.
Pathophysiology is the most important thing for you to know. Here's why. When you understand the pathophysiology for Nicole, pathophysiology or physiology of fluid and electrolyte imbalances, what is happening in the body with something like hyperkalemia, what is happening in the body for med-surg disorders like sepsis or heart failure, what is happening in the body with ABG disorder, like imbalances, metabolic acidosis, metabolic alkalosis, respiratory, all the things. What is happening in the body? The pathophysiology is the foundation of what you need to know. When you understand the pathophysiology, you will be able to critically think through the signs and symptoms, the nursing assessment, and the nursing interventions. When was the last time you had a nursing exam that tested you on memorization? There's no hands raised because never is the answer. Nursing exams will always test you on your critical thinking skills. So if you are not practicing your critical thinking skills in nursing school, you're going to have a very difficult time on those nursing school exams. So those 4 main categories are what we focus on. You need to understand the pathophysiology of the disorder. What is happening in the body? And then from there, you can understand more of the signs and symptoms of what's happening because they're going to stem from that pathophysiology. But if you just memorize a list of signs and symptoms and you get to your exam and it doesn't quite fit, because you memorized, critically think through it, you are not going to do as well on that exam, right? So signs and symptoms as they relate back to the pathophysiology. Nursing assessment as it relates back to the pathophysiology. Here's the patho. What are we going to assess for? Nursing interventions. Here's what's going on with the pathophysiology. Here's what's going on with the patient's body. How are we going to fix it? 4 main categories: pathophysiology, signs and symptoms, nursing assessment, and nursing interventions. That is what you got to focus on, my friends. That is what you're going to focus on. Now, I want to mention we have a free nursing school boot camp for you. What? I know, so cool, right? Go to nursingschoolofsuccess.com/boot camp. I'm going to walk you through these 4 main categories a little deeper in that boot camp. So check it out. It's amazing. I cannot even tell you. Cannot even tell you more. You're going to love it. So nursingschoolofsuccess.com/boot camp. Sign up for it. It's just going to help you so much in nursing school to know how to study, what to study, and all the things.
So I'm going to reiterate just something just real quick about what you said is
For sure.
really the main thing to get across is making that leap from memorization to critical thinking, making that leap from just memorizing lists to understanding what's happening in the body and then what stems out of that, the patho and what comes out of that. So Nicole, to back up and talk about fluid and electrolytes, yes, there's a lot in there. I remember because I did all the video editing for those courses in our membership community. There's a lot, and there's all these hypos, all these kalemia, natremia, whatever. Not a nurse, by the way, not a nurse. I just edit the videos. So there's a lot there. I understand that. And all the signs and symptoms and all the nursing interventions, there is a lot there. We want to make the leap from just memorizing those lists because that is just a lot of lists and it just gets longer the more disorders and things you have to look at. And if you're just memorizing lists, it gets to be too much.
Right.
So you want to make that leap beyond that into critical thinking. So think about the pathophysiology for each of those fluid and electrolyte, hyper, each of those pathos. And then you'll be able to critically think, okay, this is what's happening in the body. What are the signs and symptoms, nursing assessments, and nursing interventions? So it's really making that leap. And that's what nursing school is for, is train you in that critical thinking, training you to take that leap of understanding and kind of backtracking all of those things back to the patho and be able to understand those links. Really, it's all those links together. So no matter what disorder you're talking about, like Christine said, those 4 things apply across the board. No matter what you're talking about, as long as you can critically think about, okay, this is what's happening in the body. I've never heard about this disease, but if this is what's happening in the body, it makes sense that these are the signs and symptoms. These are some assessments, and these could be some interventions. So it's really taking that next step in your nursing school journey.
Absolutely. And bonus for that on critical thinking, in that boot camp I just talked about, we talk about critical thinking as well. So definitely check it out. You do not want to miss it, my friend. Like I promise you, you do not want to miss it. NursingSchoolOfSuccess.com/bootcamp. Sign up for it. Sign up for it right now.
Naomi is also asking, does this only apply for the RN program?
So no. So this would be like RN and LPN. However, LPN programs, a lot of this will be more advanced than what you're going to do in your program. So yes and no. The critical thinking piece can apply to LPN students, but at a higher level. This is, but like the deeper critical thinking and like especially the nursing assessment, some of the nursing interventions are specifically for RN programs because it's within the RN scope of practice. That's really the difference. The scope of practice between an LPN program and an RN program is very different. So that's why. Aaliyah, of course I remember you, friend. We were just talking a couple weeks ago.
Christina remembers everyone.
I remember everybody, of course.
So, let me see. Oh, Cassidy, I'm thinking of doing a nursing program, and I'm so worried about the math part. I am terrible at math. What is the math part like?
What is the math part like? I was just writing about this yesterday, actually, because we were talking a lot about dose calc. Dose calc in nursing school. If you have not started nursing school yet or starting in January, you will have a dose calc exam within the first 2 weeks of your program. That is how nursing schools run. That is inescapable in nursing school. You will have a dose calc exam within the first 2 weeks of your program, and you will need to get 100% on it. I know it's scary. I know it's scary, my friends, but it's really not as bad as you think because you have us, right? You have us here. So go to YouTube, type in nursing SOS dose calc, and I'll walk you through dose calc and the math for nursing school step by step. So don't even worry about it. You're going to be great. If you are starting nursing school in January, that is the number one thing that you need to focus on right now. I want you to start today, right now. Who starts in January? Raise your hand. If you start in January or even February, if you are starting nursing school coming up in January, February, raise your hand, throw up your favorite emoji. I know we got a lot of you guys on here. We were just talking to you on Monday. There's a lot of people just starting in January. The number one thing you need to be focusing on, dose calc. You guessed it. So make sure that you are understanding how to answer dose calc questions, med math questions. I do not want you to get to nursing school the first 2 weeks of the term and have to learn dose calc along with everything else you have to learn. Because when you start nursing school, it's like, you know, pedal to the metal.
Pedal to the metal
is the phrase I used on Monday.
Funny. Yes.
Pedal to the metal, like it's go time, right? And the best jump start that you can get is to understand dose calc and med math before you start your program so you don't have to learn it all together with everything else. So make sure that when you start nursing school, if you are starting in January, starting in February, or whenever you're starting this year, make sure that you understand dose calc first before you start your program. I'm going to preach it from the rooftops. Oh,
definitely.
Because it is, such a huge deal.
Yeah. And to wrap up with the math thing, with dimensional analysis, really the main things is multiplication and division. So it's pretty straightforward.
And you can always use a calculator.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So don't worry about
You
the
don't have
math.
to
Math is
you really
don't worry about that at all.
don't worry about it. We got you covered.
So also people have been asking about the membership community, whether it's open, whether it's opening. Currently it is closed. So yes, you still need to, when you go to nursingschoolsuccess.com/join, it is to join the wait list, and then we will let you know as soon as it opens up. So it only opens up a couple times a year.
Yep.
So
Naomi, yes, the study system can be used for LPN. Absolutely. If you're in an LPN program or an RN program, it doesn't matter. Get the study system. It's going to help you so much because this is your step-by-step guide for how to study in nursing school, whether it's an LPN program or an RN program. NursingSchoolOfSuccess.com/study system. Seriously, don't miss it. So good.
All right. Wanicia was asking, I'm nervous about the exit HSI. What is a good tool to use to practice for HSI?
HSI. So my school, we had the exit HSI, and for anyone who's in a HSI or an ATI program, raise your hand if you're in a HSI or ATI program. Actually, tell me which one. Who's in a HSI and who's in ATI? Who's in a HSI and who's in ATI? Or nothing?
Yeah, is there some with nothing?
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Not a nurse again.
Yeah,
but
there are some with nothing.
Okay.
HSI and ATI are just like a type of curriculum that the school can use basically in order to help support nursing students.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
so
Barbara!
I see a couple of HSIs.
Good morning. HSI, ATI on YouTube. It kind of ATI. Oh yeah, ATI. ATI, HSI, ATI, kind of mix. Usually we get a lot more ATI than we do HSI. That tends to be, I think ATI is kind of more popular than the HSI. That's just from my personal experience, just asking. So I don't know. I could totally be off base there. But here's the thing. HSI and ATI, the biggest thing you're going to want to do if you're in a HSI or an ATI program is to use their particular curriculum. So you will have an online dashboard, most likely. You will get practice questions. Maybe you have the ATI books, something like that. You want to make sure that you are going through as many practice questions as you can. That's really, really the key. So for HSI or ATI, make sure that you do their practice questions as much as possible. A lot of nursing students have told us that it feels like busy work and that they don't want to do it. But I'm going to tell you right now, we have heard so many nursing students say it is the number one thing you can do, especially if you are an ATI. Barbara. Especially if you are an ATI, do the practice questions. I'm going to do my wink again.
The wink, the two-eyed wink.
The two-eyed wink. I can't wink. I need to practice my wink. It's not a cute wink. Do the ATI practice questions. I cannot tell you enough. Students have told us, I don't know, someone from ATI is going to come at me one day for saying this on live video. But students have told us that the questions on the ATI exams in class are very similar to the practice questions they post online. And I feel like if they didn't want people to know that, they wouldn't actually do that. Because like, if you get to your exam, you know. But that's what we've heard.
Don't quote us on that.
Don't tell anybody I'm telling you this. ATI, I'm going to get like a phone call from ATI people. Christina, why are you giving away all our secrets? But this is what we've heard from students, is that if you get to an ATI exam, the questions there are going to be very similar to the ones on the practice test. So do the practice test, my friends. And they give it to you, right? They want you to do those practice tests. That's what you need to know. You need to know the content on the practice tests. Do the practice tests. You know, people tell us all the time, it feels like busy work. Yes, there's a lot of problems. Feels like busy work. Do it anyway.
Really, it's really getting it to be second nature to you. And really, the only way to do that is practice. And that's really what that is just practice over and over and over again until it becomes second nature. So
Yep.
yes, does it feel like busy work? Yes. Could it be busy work? I mean, depending on your definition of that, but it is really to get you to understand it and really to make it click second nature. So, oh, hi.
I love
We
it.
see you joining.
I love it when we see people we actually know hanging out with us here. Hello, people.
Shoot us
if you know
us a comment
in real life.
by the way. Let me
That's
see
so fun.
here.
So, last thing on HSI or ATI, the key is to not, like, the point of HSI and ATI is not to find this like magical test bank out there somewhere in the world that has all the questions that are going to show up on your exam. That is not the point. That is not the point. Like, don't go searching the internet for this like pirated or like test bank, whatever, that your instructor is pulling from for your exam. That is not the point. There are two key points to answering practice questions in nursing school. The first one is content. It will help you learn the content better because you will be tested on that content, right? You're like checking your knowledge by answering practice questions. But number two, and even more importantly, is it's going to rewire your brain to help you see how are questions worded and what are they looking for with those answers? Because nursing exam questions are very different than anything you've ever seen before in school. They're worded very different. It's very deep critical thinking, those types of things. So you have to make sure that you're doing these practice questions to train your brain to think that way. Now, I'm telling you, my friend, when you first start these practice questions, you are going to epically bomb them. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. Keep going. Because the more practice questions you do, the more practice that you get, the better you will get. Do not give up. Failure is just part of the journey. Failure is just part of the journey. You're going to bomb your first few practice tests, and it's okay. Do more of them. Do them constantly, and you will keep getting better. Yep,
Awesome.
yep. Do you advise to prepare for upcoming semester while on break? If so, what should I do to prepare for med-surg and pediatrics? So, two answers to that. Number one, this is not for you, apparently. If you are going into med-surg and pediatrics, you're already in nursing school. But if you are just starting nursing school in January, like we just talked about, dose calc. Make sure you are practicing dose calc. Number one. Now, if you have been in nursing school, you already have a term or two under your belt. Where did that phrase come from? Under your belt? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I do not know. Yeah.
If you've already completed a term or two in nursing school and you kind of already know how it runs, then what I want you to do is find an upperclassman who is one term ahead of you. So if you're going into, med-surg 1 or your first term in med-surg, find someone who just took that term and is now in like med-surg 2 or going into med-surg 2 or advanced med-surg or whatever. Find someone who is a term ahead of you and ask them how it is. Ask them what you do, what's expected, what the clinical days are, what you learn, what papers you have to write, what care plans you need to do. I want to know everything. I want to know everything about that term. Ask them. Find an upperclassman and ask them what to expect. What do you study within the first couple weeks of the term? What research papers are due? What care plans are due within the first few weeks? You need to know everything about the term so that it will really, because when you're prepared, it'll help you get prepared because you know what to expect, right? If you talk to someone who has done it already, you know what to expect. So that's what I want you to do. That's what I want you to do. You can get a head start on those papers. You can get a head start in some studying if you want. If you're going into med-surg and you've already talked to an upperclassman and you know kind of how it's going to run, you know what to expect, then I'm much more comfortable with studying because you can focus your study time. Make sure that you're not just studying for the sake of studying because you won't, it'll just be a huge waste of time in the end. But make sure that you're actually studying the things that matter. So that's why we say talk to an upperclassman, someone who is a term ahead of you to know what you need to study for that term. And then, you can get a head start if you would like. what I recommend.
Veronica asks a good question, interesting question, slightly different.
Okay.
What's the best unit to work on after school?
What's the best unit to work
So
on
I'm
after
guessing
school?
what nursing unit?
Yeah.
Is there a best?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
We talked about this a few, actually it was probably a couple of months ago now.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
That we've talked about like what to do after school.
What to do after
there
nursing
is
school?
this big debate out there, expectation, some might say, that when you graduate from nursing school, you will automatically start on a med-surg floor. I think that is the biggest lie ever. You do not need to do anything in life that you don't want to do. So we get a lot of nursing students who say, Christina, I'm in clinical right now. Here's my clinical. I do not like it. And so it'll be like, oftentimes it's med surg or something. They're like, do I need to do this after school? Like, do I really need to do like work on a med surg floor to get general experience and like nursing experience and then go on to other things? No, I don't think so. I don't want you to do anything you don't want to do. That's really it. That's really it. I think it's a mindset thing, to be honest. Of course, it depends on where you live and what jobs are available to you. Maybe you live in a really small town and that's all there is. Maybe you need to move somewhere else, or maybe you live, in an area, if you're an LPN, or in an LPN program and your area primarily hires RNs, that's going to be a little different. It depends on where you live. It depends on the job opportunities, but for the most part, that's really the thing. That's a mindset piece I want you to get over is I need to do X, Y, and Z in order to be successful. It's a lie. You don't need to do X, Y, and Z in order to be successful. You can do A, B, and C and be successful. You can do C, D, and F. Whatever.
Any letters.
Any
you can
letters.
do any of those letters.
Any letters.
So I found it interesting, like the way the question's worded. What's the best unit? And so it goes back to my question: is there a best? And I don't think there is. There is no best. Really, it's what have you learned in nursing school? What did you find interesting in nursing school? What is something that you'd like to pursue in nursing now that you're out of nursing school? And I do want to kind of back this up to people that are still in nursing school, because a lot of people also ask, oh, what's the best clinical to get in, or how do I get into XYZ clinical? And oh, what if I don't get in the clinical I want to do? And really be open to the clinicals that you get. And even if it's not something that you necessarily want or something that you're not necessarily interested in, because you never know. Part of this is to experience new things, to try out new things and see maybe the clinicals that you happen to have are something that you had no idea that you might like, but fall in love with it. And that's what you can do after nursing. So what's the best unit? The unit that you find that you can serve the most people and help the most people, and the one that you feel you have become acclimated to and you like. So definitely use nursing school as a period of time to get used to new things, new clinical, new experiences, and find what you like. Because what you have at the beginning of, oh, I want to be XYZ nurse, might not be what you end up with at the end. And you might find something better through nursing school, or even after nursing school. If there's only one thing available, maybe you try that out and see how that is. So is there a best unit to work on? I don't think so. It's just what you have learned in nursing school and what you can get, and also what you've found out about yourself, about what you like to do,
what you're called to do.
Yeah,
absolutely. It really is just that you can do whatever you want to do, whether you want to be, if you want to work on a med-surg floor, if you want to do ICU, if you want to do, ER nursing, if you want to do pediatric or oncology or clinic nursing, or, what have you. Nursing education, like there's a term like patient education or patient advocacy. There are so many avenues that you can do. It's beautiful. So don't get hung up on this idea that there's one right thing for you. And not only that, but that you have to follow this certain path in order to get there. I was just thinking about this yesterday if you missed my little motivational pep talk at the beginning of this live, I highly recommend that you check it out. Because this kind of flows into that. People are going to tell you that you have to do nursing in this particular order. Nursing school, med-surg floor, ICU, flight nursing, ER, whatever. There is this particular order. And if you deviate from that particular order, it's like, wait a minute, whoa. Like, that won't work out for you, or you tamper your expectations. Like, don't dream too big. Like, that's a path uncharted. Wait a minute. That's not possible. Those things are going to come up for other people, right? Do you remember my culminating project in nursing school? I just wanted to run that by you, see if you remember. We had to do a career map. We had to do a career map with for like my nursing school culminating project. Mine looked very, very different than my peers because I didn't want to go work on a med-surg floor.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I didn't want to go
different, and you had to ask your teacher
ICU.
like, "How should I do this?" Because
and they had me redo it, and I had to I had to make it generic. I don't know. This is so lame. Like, she literally told me, "This won't work. Like, this is not how nurses do things." Here we are, years later. This is how we're doing things. We are a path uncharted. And basically, it comes down to you will not get to the life that you want if you follow in everyone else's footsteps and listen to everyone else's opinions about you and your life. You have got to take ownership of your life and your decisions to get to where you want to go. So if you're listening to the world out there and everyone's telling you you can't do it, it's not possible, it's not going to happen for you, lower your expectations. What are you thinking? They're going to tell you those things, right? And if you're listening to that, you are not going to get to where you want to go. So follow what you are called to do, follow what you want to do, and do what you want to do, man. There you go.
And if you didn't catch the whole conversation with that was at the beginning of our live too. So be sure to check that out after this as well.
Absolutely.
Christine goes a lot more into that. Let me see. Allie was just asking, signed up for the instant replay boot camp. Hooray. It says block off 45 minutes, but it doesn't say when I can access it.
Instantly. You should have been at when you signed up for the boot camp, it should have redirected you right to the video to watch. And you can pause it, I think.
If not, if you closed it, I'm assuming that there's an email or something that
you'll get an email with the video there. Sorry, Allie. Can you tell me, Allie, actually, if it didn't work for you? Because it should work that way. You should have the instant replay, and then it should just be right there for you. So if that didn't happen, can you please let me know so I can fix it if that's not what's happening? Thank you. I want to make sure that I am not a tech genius. I'm he's the tech genius. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
you'll try it out.
You try it right now and let us know if you're having issues, and then we'll figure it out.
Figure it out together.
We've mentioned this a couple times, but we'll just reiterate for Will, hey, I'm starting Nurse 101 next month. I was along with a lot of other people, so congratulations. I'm reading up on some material, but it's hard to pinpoint what I should be concentrating on. Conversions seem to be difficult. Well, those
conversions.
So dose calc, right? Even me, I knew that answer.
Yay!
So dose calc, just focus on dose calc. Since that, conversions seem to be difficult.
Yes. Yep.
And also, Morgan was saying, I'm a pharmacy tech and I loved your videos on conversions and math formulas. Most effective I have found on YouTube. Just wanted to say thank you. So
thank you, Morgan.
Will, check out our dose calc stuff on YouTube. Just search Nursing SOS Dose Calc.
Yep. Right? Search Nursing SOS Dose Calc. Absolutely.
And according to Morgan, they're the best on YouTube. So there you go.
I agree. I agree.
Thank you, Morgan,
no
by the
one
way.
teaches dose calc like we do. No one teaches dose calc like we do. To be honest with you, I really, 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 I like breaking things down into step-by-step processes for you to follow. My brain is wired that way. It's helped a lot of people. So when you watch our videos on dose calc, like we walk you through, we have a very defined 6-step process that you follow through dose calc that will guarantee that you get it right every single time.
Oh, and by the way, if you're not subscribed
There you go.
to our YouTube and hit the notification bell so you're notified for new videos, because new videos are coming out. Wink, wink.
I'm gonna there are so many winks here in this live video. Friends, I've got to tell you that when we have so much coming for you. If you're a Nursing SOS member, we have so much coming for you. If you are just a YouTube subscriber, we have so much coming for you. We have really been working very, very hard.
So if you're not subscribed yet, do so. You don't want to miss out.
Don't want to miss it. Do not miss it, friends. Oh, Allie, it worked. Perfect. The link pulls up the video. Thanks a million.
Awesome.
Awesome, Allie. I'm so glad. I'm glad I didn't mess it up. That's what I'm glad about, Allie. That's so funny.
Great.
Yeah, I'm glad it works and that I didn't totally mess something up.
All right. Jor has a question on balance. I have to balance 5 nursing classes. Yes. 1 non-nursing class. Any advice to do well in my classes and time management? Just forget about the non-nursing class. No, just kidding. That's not what you want to do.
This is why it's an Ask Christina Anything.
Just forget about the things that you don't want to study and just focus on the things you want to study.
That sounds an awful lot like how you did things.
Well, if that's it, that's why it took me 8 years to get through college, because I didn't study. End of story. So don't do what Matthew does. Instead, do what Christina does, and you'll be good.
And actually study. Oh man, that's so funny. Really, it comes down to everything we've talked about through this live. Making sure that you're focusing on those 4 main categories if you're in a nursing class, right? Pathophysiology, signs and symptoms, nursing assessment, and nursing interventions. Those are the 4 main areas that you need to focus on. At the same time, critical thinking. You have to understand how to critically think in nursing school. So I'm going to go back to what Allie was talking about earlier, our boot camp. Please, please, please join our nursing school boot camp. I'm going to walk you through how to study in nursing school. So it's nursingschoolofsuccess.com/boot camp. If you are on Instagram, it may or may not be the link in my bio.
May or may not.
It may or may not. I was actually thinking that it was, but it might not be. nursingschoolofsuccess.com/boot camp. Go there right now, sign up for it. I'm going to walk you through how to study in nursing school with those 4 key areas, and then also how to critically think. I'm going to send you a critical thinking cheat sheet. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have so much fun.
As far as time management, planner. Get a planner. We recommend planning out your day by hour and filling it in. And key part of this is actually follow what you wrote down. Once you fill it out, I think that's probably a key thing that I never do. Yes, but definitely have a planner, put everything in there. And by everything, we mean everything. Especially if you do hourly, everything, eating, sleeping, driving time, et cetera, commuting,
study time, clinical time, prep time, all the stuff.
So especially when you have 5 nursing classes in a non-nursing class, to make sure that it's just clear to you. Just put it all in your planner and around how much time each takes, because then you'll be able to get a baseline on, okay, this is how much time it actually takes to do all these things. And you'll find out what time you have left over, or you'll find out, okay, I might need to cut back on some stuff. But one thing is be really honest about yourself. And number 2 is stick to what you put in your planner, but definitely get a planner out, start that way, and get kind of baseline on what you're doing so you can see where to go from there. The other thing about a planner and being honest about yourself and following through on it is that it really reduces the stress, because one of the stressful parts about anything is just the unknowns. So if you just take it out of your brain and dump it all out on a planner, all you have to do is look at your planner. Oh, what's the next thing to do? And it just reduces the load on your brain. And allows you to more efficiently focus on what you're doing and studying. So
Absolutely.
definitely for time management, we do recommend planning it out.
Absolutely.
So.
Okay, my friends, like we've said several times during this live, sign up for the boot camp, nursingschoolofsuccess.com/bootcamp. Sign up right now. You do not want to miss it. Second thing, make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. Go to Nursing SOS, so youtube.com/Nursing SOS. Subscribe and click the bell. We have a ton of amazing, I cannot even tell you guys. We have not told anybody what's coming, but I'm just subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Do it.
Just do it. I promise you, I'm going to throw out another not cute wink. Do it right now. youtube.com/Nursing SOS. Subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified. I just do it. We have a bunch of things coming for you if you're a Nursing SOS member. There you go.
Happy New Year, everyone. New Year. We will see you all next year. That's fun to say. We will see you all like next Monday. Year. But yes,
close out the year well. Take what you learned from 2020 and take it into 2021. You learned a lot. You overcame a lot. You overcame a lot this year. You realized that you are so much stronger than you knew before, right? You are a different person now than you were back in 2019, right? You know more. You grew a whole lot. We became very, adaptable is probably the best word. You can handle anything now. So take that. Take the learnings. Keep going into 2021 and rock nursing school.
Keep growing.
Keep growing.
Keep growing.
Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Well, let them tell you. I mean, they can do whatever they want. They can tell you things, but don't take it on. You got it.
And join us also because we're going to continue doing more new things.
Here we go.
Growing along with you guys. So join us along for the ride for 2021.
2021. We have so many. I can't even. Again, I'm just going to say it again. We have so many things coming for you. Please, please, please subscribe on YouTube.
Come along with us. Join us along for the ride.
2021 is going to be a fantastic year.
It'll be fun.
Let's do it together. Here we go.
All right.
All right, friends.
Take care, guys. We'll see you on Monday.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye.
Bye-bye.